Hi, welcome back. In this video, we will learn about the parliament and we will see what all we need to remember to write an answer on the parliament. One important theme covered by UPSC is how executives' accountability is checked by the parliament. It is repeated every year. For example, how parliamentary ensures executives' accountability asked in 2021, how cabinet system undermines the sovereignty of parliament asked in 2024, and what is the role of parliamentary committees in ensuring accountability of the executive. For example, Public Accounts Committee asked in 2023 and 2017, Departmental Related Committees asked in 2021, Estimates Committee asked in 2018. And another important topic is Rajya Sabha. UPSC asked how Rajya Sabha transformed from useless stepney tire to the most important organ of Indian democracy and asked its significance in checking the populism of Lok Sabha. And another topic is, which is repeated twice in 2013 and 2019, individual role of parliamentarians, that is MPs, is declining. And now we will see what all dimensions we need to remember to write an answer. In the introduction, you can start with Indian Parliament is beating heart of the world's largest democracy, and it is where laws are crafted, power is questioned, and the voice of billions find an expression. I repeat, Indian Parliament is a beating heart of world's largest democracy. It is where laws are crafted, power is questioned, and voice of billion people finds an expression. Now we'll see what is the composition of Indian Parliament. As per Article 79, the Parliament of India comprises three components: President, Rajya Sabha, Lok Sabha. What is the role of President in the Parliament? He assents the bill, that is mentioned in Article 111, and he promulgates ordinance, which is mentioned in Article 123, and summons or dissolves the Lok Sabha, which is mentioned in 85 and 86. And what is the role of Rajya Sabha? It is a permanent house and safeguards the interest of states, and it is a representative of the states and union territories. And Lok Sabha, which is elected directly and which represents the popular sovereignty. Now, I will explain about what are the extra powers of Lok Sabha with respect to Rajya Sabha. Lok Sabha has exclusive control over the money bills, which is mentioned in Article 110, where Rajya Sabha has no power to amend the money bill but can recommend. It is a final authority on demand for grants, which shows Lok Sabha has a complete control over government finances. Power to break or make the governments, which means no confidence motion can only be passed in Lok Sabha. And precedents in the joint session, that is mentioned in Article 108, where Lok Sabha has numerical superiority and overshadow Rajya Sabha. For example, Prevention of Terrorism Act 2002 was passed in the joint session despite Rajya Sabha's opposition. And Lok Sabha has greater role in the financial control. For example, cut motions on the demand for grants. Cut motions are, for example, economic cut motion, policy cut motion, and token cut motion. Now we'll see what is the relevance of Rajya Sabha in the Indian democracy. It has a federal character and represents the states. It prevents the centralization of power and promotes the cooperative federalism. It acts as a continuity in the parliamentary system, where Rajya Sabha is a permanent body unlike Lok Sabha, which can be dissolved, acts as a buffer against the sudden political upheavals. It has special power under Article 249, where Rajya Sabha authorizes Parliament to make law on the subjects mentioned in state leads, which shows Rajya Sabha is not just a reviewing chamber but also a policy enabler. And it is a platform for expertise and non-electoral voices, which has nominated members who contributed in the field of literature, art, science, and social service, which enhances the quality of the debate. For example, M.S. Swaminathan and Dr. B.R. Ambedkar were Rajya Sabha members. And it acts as a voice of the opposition and balance the populism of Lok Sabha, and acts as a safeguard against the majoritarianism. Now we'll see what are the functions of Indian Parliament. First one is legislative functions. Parliament make laws on union list and concurrent list, which is mentioned in 7th schedule. And it can also make the law on state list subjects only when, for example, Article 249, where Rajya Sabha passes a resolution and authorizes the Parliament to make a law on state list. Article 250, whenever there is a national emergency, Parliament make laws on all the lists. Article 252, when two or more states request the Parliament to make a law on state list. And Article 253, to implement the international treaties. Article 356, that is state emergency, where Parliament acts as a legislative body of the state. And whenever there is an ordinance promulgation, Lok Sabha or Parliament approval is required. Next one is executive functions, parliamentary scrutiny, which is a heart of responsible government. Parliament checks the executive through question hour, zero hour, attention motion, no confidence motion, and censure motion. And next, what are financial functions of the parliament? Presentation and approval of budget, that is annual financial statement mentioned in the article 112. Enactment of financial legislation, for example, appropriation bill mentioned in article 114, and money bill which is mentioned in article 1110, and power over taxation as per the article 265. No tax can be levied or collected without the law passed by the parliament. And it also acts as amendment body through simple majority, and special majority with the state ratification. The amending power of the parliament is not obsolete. It is limited by the basic structure, which is given in the Keshavananda Bharati case of 1973. And what are judicial functions? It impeaches the president, mentioned in Article 61, and removal of judges, that is mentioned in Article 124, that is Supreme Court, and 2017, that is High Court. This is in news. Impeachment of other constitutional authorities like CAG, which is mentioned in Article 148, Chief Election Commissioner, which is mentioned in Article 324, and also it punishes for the breach of privileges, which are mentioned in the Article 105. What are the electoral functions of the parliament? It participates in the election of the president, which is mentioned in Article 54, election of vice president, which is mentioned in the Article 66, election of speaker and deputy speaker, which is mentioned in the Article 93. And now we'll see what are the challenges faced by Indian Parliament. The first major challenge is declining productivity of the Parliament, which means the ratio between actual working hours is to scheduled hours. What are the key factors leading to the decline of productivity of the Parliament? The productivity collapse. For example, 17th Lok Sabha recorded 47% of the productivity. Debate deficit, where 42% of the bills are passed within 30 minutes. And another example is farm bills were cleared in just 7 minutes. And reduced working days, Parliament functions approximately 70 days per year. Ordinance overuse, over 76 ordinances were passed since 2014. The opposition is silenced. For example, 146 MPs were suspended during 2023. The question hour is undermined, nearly half the time lost in disruptions. That is, frequent disruptions and lack of review by parliamentary committees. And now we'll see what are the suggestions for enhancement of the productivity of the parliament. Ensure minimum duration and reduce the disruptions. For example, NSRWC, that is National Commission on Reviewing the Working of the Constitution, has suggested Parliament should meet at least 100 days a year. Mandate parliamentary committee review for all bills. This is recommended by second ARC, that is Administrative Reforms Commission. Enhance transparency by publishing real-time productivity metrics, limiting executive dominance. Now we'll see what we'll write in the conclusion. Parliament represents popular sovereignty and serves as the central arena for democratic deliberation, accountability, and articulation of the general will. It is essential for the deepening of constitutional democracy. I repeat, Parliament represents popular sovereignty and serves as a central arena for democratic deliberation, accountability, articulation of the general will. It is essential for deepening the constitutional democracy. Now we'll see what all dimensions we covered in this video. I have given you the introduction, and we have seen the composition of Indian Parliament and extra powers of Lok Sabha with respect to Rajya Sabha, and we have seen relevance of Rajya Sabha. Whenever there is a question on importance of bicameralism, you can write the same points I have given under relevance of Rajya Sabha. We have seen the functions that are legislative functions, executive functions, judicial functions, electoral functions, and financial functions, and also amendment powers. Let me summarize functions of Parliament. It is a lawmaking authority. It checks the executive's accountability. It is responsible for financial control. It is a forum for debate and discussion. And it brings constitutional amendments to cater to the social, political, and economic realities of India. And further, we have seen the challenges, that is, reduction in the productivity of the Parliament, and what are key factors affecting the productivity, and way forward. And further, we have seen the conclusion. In the next video, I will come up with the next important theme. Until then, I hereby signing off, one of the unreserved mind of UPSC community. Thank you.